Welcome to the Diary of Beautician. This is your host, Shah. Tune in every Sunday evening from 9 p.m. to listen to my podcast from the health and beauty industry via my website. It's now available on Spotify and also on YouTube. I'll be discussing various topics, stories, news, educational and historical content. Please head over to my website and subscribe to some great monthly content sent to you as a newsletter. You can also book my services from the comfort of your home. Website address is www.shashalondon.co.uk. You can follow me on social network, Instagram at sslondon84, Facebook shashalondon, Twitter shashalondon. I'm also available on LinkedIn as shashalondon. If you have any questions, do feel free to message me via social media, or you can email me at shashalondon.info, that's info @gmail.com. So welcome back. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each week to listen to my content. I hope you have been finding it very informative and helpful. And I want to welcome all that have been welcome to all my new listeners. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys will enjoy this topic of conversation and will be tuning in each week. Just to let everyone know, this is going to be my last podcast for 2019. I will be back in 2020 with a new topic of conversation. So, for all those who have just tuned in now, you can go back to my previous podcast. I've got loads. So just listen to all the content that I've already dropped on my podcast. And for those who have already tuned in, again, revisit my podcast. It's great content. Go back. This is going to be the last one for 2019, and then 2020 I will be coming back with some new podcasts for you to listen to. So this week I'm going to talk about trauma, the effects of trauma. So trauma, it can be psychological and can be physical. Okay, so when we say psychological, mental, and physical, our body. Okay, so one of the first early traumas I remember was seeing someone being hit on their cycle. So they were on their bicycle, and then they just got hit, like from out nowhere. Like the car came out of nowhere, and I can still see it to this day. Like it's just the cyclist was just on their cycle and just riding, and then the car just came out of them and just hit them. And I just remember looking in shock, like, oh my gosh, how is that even possible? How did it even happen? And I think I was like no more than like 9 or 10. I was on my way to my girls' brigade. So it's like brownies, if anyone knows what brownies were. It's like a group that you go to like weekly. You wear your uniform and you do camping and things like that. So and just seeing that, and I think I even screamed because I was just shocked of seeing something like that. And then I just carried on because I just saw people carrying on. I just assumed that, okay, just carry on. So I carried on going on to my girls' brigade and never really dealt with that. Never really kind of question, say, oh my gosh, I just witnessed someone potentially died or been killed, or, like it actually happened right there. And that's a traumatic experience, okay? So that affected me mentally and it affected me physically. And you're both thinking, like, how would it affect you physically? Because when I saw it, I literally saw it, but then I screamed. My body went, in terror of seeing something so traumatizing. And that's what it is. We see it, we process it, and it affects us some way, somehow. So for many of you, you've probably experienced various types of traumatic or traumatizing events in your life. And where are you at now with those type of traumas and traumatic events in your life? Where are you standing right now in your life? And for me, I even up until of lately, I've experienced something traumatizing to me or traumatic. Having major surgery, having to deal with the notion I'm having to do it. It's a life and death situation. And then people looking at you saying, oh my gosh, you went through all of that. That must have been so traumatizing to you, experiencing all of that. And I'm looking back at them and saying, yeah, it really has. It has been really traumatizing. And how do you deal with it? And I said, well, taking each day as it comes. I'm still here. But I choose to accept that it happened. And I choose to move on by saying that I didn't know what was going to happen regarding that. Not in that sense that I was going to have major surgery, but just knowing the fact that I'm still living, I'm still part of the living, and I'm going to do the best that I can to heal from that experience each day by just living life, not in survival mode, but living life. So, again, where are you in your trauma? Are you experiencing trauma right now? Have you lived through some sort of traumatic event? What are you doing with all this trauma? I've seen people suppress trauma, like literally suppress it so far down inside their subconsciousness. So this is psychological now. And then it starts to manifest in their physical, so in their body. And one word I can even bring to your attention is stress, right? Stress. So trauma is many of things and many experience for many of people. And for me is, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with your trauma? And these are a few things that I feel that may help. Acknowledging the trauma. Finding ways to deal with the trauma. Remembering you are a human being who's in working progress in the trauma. And you can heal from your trauma. Okay? So acknowledging the trauma. Like I said, my earliest memory of seeing the first traumatic event, I didn't acknowledge it. I really didn't. I reacted like everybody else around me reacted and moved on. And then when I grew up, and as I was growing up, I started to see, when I saw things like that, it didn't faze me. I wasn't alarmed by it. I became immune to it. And that's not right. It's not right. It's not right to be immune to something like that. And someone could argue, said, well, these are things that happen in life. Grantedly, but it's not right to just accept that's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. What I should have done was talked about it. Just that act alone was acknowledging that trauma. Talking. Yeah. Talking about it. Finding ways to deal with it. So again, kind of rolls into the acknowledgement part. Talking about it with my mom or my dad or my siblings. Okay? Seeking help from a professional, a counselor, a psychologist, my GP, my herbalist, a friend, a parent. Again, talking about it. You know, some people who are unable to talk about it they can't talk about it, so they sing. They sing about their trauma. They sing about it. Or you have people that draw their trauma. Or sometimes people behave in a certain way, showing their trauma. Okay? You've got to find ways to deal with the trauma. Now, not things that's going to create more trauma in your life or more havoc in your life. No, you don't want to do that to yourself, because that's going to bring more harm to you than good. Okay? You got to find ways that's going to help you deal with the trauma, to help you move on. And that leads into, remember, you as a human being is a work in progress. So acknowledging, finding help, and knowing that the process of the traumatic event or the traumatizing experience you experienced at the time or going through, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. And I don't know how long that time is. I'm afraid I can't say, yeah, I'm giving it a week, 2, maybe 3 weeks. Just in the society that we live in, everything is very, very rush. Now. Get on with it. But really, we need to slow down and process what's happening, what we're going through, and how to move on, and how to be a human being on this planet, you know, living and not surviving. It's going to take time to process. It's going to take time to work on you. Okay? And that's what you need to understand. And lastly, you can heal from your trauma. Absolutely, 100% you can heal from your trauma. Someone may even argue and say, no, I can't heal from this. It's too painful. It's too much. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's too much. But yes, you can heal. Yes, you can. Because every day that you're breathing, every day you're living is an opportunity. It's allowing you. Life is allowing you. The timeline is allowing you to make a choice. Okay? Do you choose not to heal from this pain, this suffering, this moment, the experience of trauma? Or are you wanting to move on from this trauma? To heal, to find peace, to grow, to progress, to develop? What is it? And again, this is where you need to explore this trauma. It's very vital. Very vital. But healing can take time. Yep, I said it. It can take time. And on that journey, I can promise you, on that journey, you will heal. You will heal along that journey. If you choose to. It's choices, people. Come on, it's choices. When you decide that you want to heal, you will heal. And when you don't want to heal, you won't heal. But it's a work in progress, yeah? It's finding ways to deal with that trauma, and it's acknowledging the trauma till you get to your healing, your peace, moving on, growing. So that's it, guys. That's it. I'm literally not even going to speak any much more on this topic for now. I'm going to be revisiting this topic, as I said earlier in the conversation, because it's such a big topic of conversation to talk about. But But that's just a little food for thought today, guys. This is a little food for thought about trauma. Ways and how to deal with your traumatic experience or an event. Don't suffer in silence. Do not suffer in silence no more. Stop burying. Relive. Not to relive the pain or the experience. No. It's about really, it's like doing a detox, right? You're removing all the toxins out of you, aren't you? So it's a process. Remember, the body itself, the human body, is literally a fantastic engineered system of various systems, right? And it takes its process of removing the toxins from the body. So just look at it as your experience and all that's happened, the trauma, the traumatizing event, the experience, the trauma, you're removing it like you're doing a detox with some help. And there's various organizations out there that you can talk to. So you can go online on your search engine and type in counselors, psychologists. You can go through your general practitioners. You can go through your religious organizations, people you love, sit down and talk with, music therapy. There's so much out there that you can do to find help, to help you to move on. But do not allow the trauma to win. Do not allow trauma to win. Do not allow trauma to ruin your living experience on this earth. Thank you for listening. And I wish you all a fantastic festive season. Spend it with your loved ones. Try not to overindulge mentally and physically. Just spend quality time with those wonderful people in your life. And treasure those wonderful moments with those people in your life. And I will see you all in the new year. Take care.